Hey there guys, what's going on? It's Gale right here, back on the 5-9 channel, and we are here to do the long-awaited review of the Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train. Today with me, we have a new member of 5-9 joining us. It's Iz. Say hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And on the other side, we have another member who's been around for a hot minute. He's been part of the Godzilla reviews, and he's here to join us for the Demon Slayer one. Varied Geek, say hello.
What is going on, 5-9? I am super sad, but let's get into this review.
Alright, sweet. Now, of course, we know that it's just come out in the US, so we want to give some people the time to digest the movie. Maybe you haven't even seen the movie. So this first half of the review, like the first 5 to 10 minutes, there will be a timestamp for you to know when we start moving into spoilers. But this section will be non-spoilers. We're just gonna generally talk about what we thought of the movie, the animation, the voice acting. Of course, Geek over here watched the dub version while we watched the sub version. You watched the sub version, I assume, as well, right?
That is correct.
There you go. So we'll be able to give our comparisons, what we thought of both versions, you know, the soundtracks and whatnot, and then we'll get into our favorite moments and whatnot. So if you guys haven't watched the movie, you can still stick around and watch the first couple of minutes. So let's get right into it, shall we, guys? So let's start off with our general thoughts on the movie. So Geek, why don't you start off with it, because you just watched the movie, you just came out of it, basically, right?
I literally just hopped out of the theater like 10 minutes ago.
So yeah, go ahead.
Overall, I have no real like glaring issues with the movie. Overall, my general thoughts was a tightly paced. By the way, I have not read the manga, so I can't really do comparisons. But I believe Gale and Iz have read the manga, so they can handle that later. But just as a viewing experience, as a movie itself, I thought it was fast paced. Like, they didn't waste any time. They got right to the plot. The setting was really cool. The Mugen train was really nice. The characters were all good. They're all faithful, obviously, because it's not a filler arc. It's an actual like arc adaptation. So if you don't know, you have to watch this movie before you head into season 2 of Demon Slayer. So, but yeah, overall fantastic movie. Loved it all around.
Great. There you go. So glowing reviews from Geek over there. And now so like Geek said, Iz and I have both read the manga, right? So Iz, as an adaptation, what did you think? I'll give my thoughts right after you, so you go ahead.
Yeah, of course. After reading the manga, I'm going to say it completely sucked. No, I'm just kidding. It was actually, to be completely honest, it was amazing. It was just amazing overall, because the thing is, like, it followed the actual arc 1-to-1, except, you know, for those who have read the manga, know that the arc itself isn't fairly long. It's only like, you know, 15 or so chapters. So to be making it into a full-length movie, they obviously had to add some things to it. But the things they added actually helped the movie grow more of itself, because it showed some, like, it just delved more deep into like some of the little backstories they had, and like it just fully expanded the experience. It made the experience a lot more enjoyable. It really did, like I said, recreate everything from the manga, and it was just so beautiful. It's just to watch it from the page coming alive into like a full-length movie. Just watching that, it just really, like, you know, it made me feel like, wow, this is an amazing adaptation. Like, it just made me feel like they really went all above and beyond, and was just like, hey, we know this arc is long, let's try to, you know, add some things to it but not ruin it. You know, let's make it more enjoyable for those that have read the manga, and for those that haven't read the manga, like Geek over here, who said he hasn't read it but he enjoyed it. So I feel like, you know, it was an amazing adaptation. I loved it. It was an amazing experience. I enjoyed every single bit of it.
I have to agree with you there. As a manga reader, I think I have no complaints realistically. Like is said, they extended some scenes and they just helped out the entire movie as a whole. Overall, my personal thoughts are just like the other two guys' as well. Fantastic, well done. UFO Table back at it again, I suppose. You know, they released 2 movies in the same year. Well, technically, obviously, Demon Slayer came out in 2020, but they also did Fate Heaven's Feel Part 3 as well. So kudos to the team over there, you know, doing 2 movies and great quality movies back to back. But yeah, I have to agree with you. I enjoyed it. They got straight into the action as well. Where they left off, of course, in season 1 is where they started effectively. There was a small scene at the start, which we will come on to in just a second, of course, once we get into the spoiler section that they added. But apart from that, well done, well made. Overall, a big thumbs up from my end. The animation for myself as well was well done overall. Like I said, you know, it's UFO table. There's no real complaints. Of course, CGI can be very tricky, and there is a bit of CGI, or I say a bit, quite a lot of CGI. There's quite a lot of CGI. You know, if we compared it, I'd say it's probably half the movie is in CGI effectively in terms of like the set piece and whatnot. But I must admit, like, outside of like the still moments, whenever the animation was fluid and moving, I had no real qualms with it personally. Like, it was well done overall. I think, I mean, I'm comparing Fate to it obviously, but that's where they started from, right? UFO's original projects were all Fate related, and they had so many CGI monsters in those movies that they've actually transitioned really well into what we got in the Demon Slayer movie as well. And then overall, I have no real complaints, just again niggling issues with the CGI, but again, it's very, very hard for any animation studio to actually perfectly execute CGI in this day and age still, to be honest. Like, you go and look at anything and it's still quite difficult. What do you guys think? Geek, go ahead.
In general, of the CGI and stuff, I didn't mind it. There was a couple moments mainly that like felt like it was a little bit clunky. Mainly, to keep it vague until we get to the spoilers. So there was some like tentacles or something, like fleshy stuff, and it looked a little off. But overall, like you mentioned, like in general, when they did use like CGI in motion with like in combination with 2D and you know, UFO table, it's like trying to judge a UFO table like animation project. It's like you almost never can complain about it.
Exactly.
But like the 2D art, the choreography, a specific fight towards the end and it probably is my favorite fight in the series. They completely killed it. Before I mentioned, I didn't touch on it. I want to get my thoughts. The English dub was good. It wasn't bad in my opinion. I thought it was good. Yeah. Everyone voiced their stuff well. Yeah, I guess the dub for me was fine. I didn't really mind it too much.
I mean, considering we're moving into voice acting, you can give your thoughts on the animation while we talk about the voice acting as well. I'll personally say the Japanese voice side was great as well. I think they did a fantastic job. Satoshi Hino as Rengoku, or Kyojiro Rengoku at least, was phenomenal, and the returning voice acting cast was just as great as well. And there is one character that we'll come on to in a second who was voiced by Akira Ishida. Fantastic job by him. We'll come on to him once we get into the spoiler reviews of or a spoiler side of things, I should say. But is animation and voice acting, what did you think of those two things?
You know, when it comes to animation, Ufotable blasts us out the water. It just like you just look at it and you're just like, wow. If you just like take like a still image from a Ufotable movie or animation, just in general, just the amount of detail and hard work they put into it, it just looks like every single frame is like its own like art. It's like, it could be like, you know, posted up on something and you could be like, hey, that's art. And it's completely true. And going off of Geeksec about some of the CGI, it is very questionable, like, but it just doesn't necessarily like ruin the experience for anyone.
Yeah,
and, like if you feel like, you know, oh, the CGI is like, oh, you know, kind of mid or like, you know, terrible, it doesn't necessarily, you know, ruin it from the movie, because the thing is with the CGI and like just like the amount of movement is just, you don't really pay too much attention to that. Like obviously, like if you're like a whole big CGI nerd, you obviously look at the very little details, but like just as a viewer yourself, you won't pay attention to that. You will actually just look at the fluid movements, just the fluid movements of everything going on. It's just like you're just like too encumbered. There's just too much to like even look at, because you're just like focusing on this one little aspect of the movie and you're just like drawn to it and you're just like, wow, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
And speaking, and then going off on gallery, it said the voice actors, returning voice actors and Rengoku and all of them, just phenomenal. I loved it. It really did recreate, like, the voice actor for Goku really did recreate how, like, I envisioned his character would sound like. When we get first introduced to Rengoku, he looks like this tall, stoic, like, all justice type character, and his voice actors really brought that out, like,
Yep.
in the subs, in like the Japanese side of it. Like, he really just was just like, Rengoku, justice, stoic, I got it, and he did it, and he did it perfectly, and I loved it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that one. But yeah, let's move into the soundtracks. Now, they brought some returning soundtracks from the last season, of course. Episode 19's and Insert AD played a bit there. Of course, we had Lisa coming back to singing the theme of the film called Homura, which was phenomenal in my opinion. But yeah, guys, what did you think of the soundtrack played? I really enjoyed it overall. There is one specific theme. Again, I can't say the specific character's theme because it's a spoiler, so I'll say it in the second section. But I really like the opening theme overall, or just the film's theme, I should say. It really wasn't an opening theme per se, but the film's theme, Homura from Lisa. I mean, Lisa bangs just generally. I mean, any anime she's part of or any song she does, brilliant. So what do you guys think of the soundtrack and obviously the theme as well?
Geek,
you can go ahead.
Geek,
You can go.
Okay, yeah. Like, I don't know any of the tracks' names, but I know exactly which theme you're talking about, and that was the one that stood out to me. Like, because I think, did they combine it with the other character's theme? I don't know, but it felt like they combined two themes together, and they were like during that specific sequence, and it was really, really good. But yeah, overall, like the soundtrack, like, I don't know the exact names of each song or track, but it was all phenomenal. I mean, Demon Slayer has phenomenal soundtrack in general, so not much else to say. It was great.
What about you? What do you think of the soundtrack in general?
To be completely honest, I was just mesmerized with just like everything, like just like the music itself. Most of that music throughout that whole entire movie just gets you so, like, it gets you pumped up because, like, with everything that's going on, you're just like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, I'm feeling like you just want to jump out of your seat. And Lisa, like, I will say this for right now, I will say this, and I will say this to the heavens. Lisa, no matter what theme she does, no matter what enemy she is put on, she just comes out with bangers, bro. Like, straight up bangers. Like, to be honest, I was a big Lisa fan when she first did I believe Sword Art, when she did the openings for Sword Art. Like, loved her right then, still love her till this day. She is one of my top 5 favorite artists, top 5 favorite Japanese artists of, like, the whole entire century. Me being, like, old school, like, I used to watch anime back in the day. We had all these great, other, like, bands and artists, like Asian Kung Fu Generations, and then we got the new ones like Eve. Just Lisa herself, her voice, I barely understand Japanese as itself, but like even then, even if I don't understand like what she's saying, I'm just like, hey, I don't understand what that girl is saying, but man, does her voice just make me want to jump up and dance. Like, I swear.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, personally, of course, I've known her since, I think, well, I heard her first in Angel Beats, the anime, back in 2010 or something it was. But obviously at that time I didn't know her officially then. But Fate Zero's OP, I think it was the first OP in Oath Sign. That's when I knew her the most, and I was like, yeah, she's a banger. But that's all, I think, for the general section. I think you guys have any negatives that you can say without any spoilers that you want to point out, maybe, or any other positives that you guys might want to point out before we move into the spoiler section? Geek or Is?
I think we could just hop into spoilers, because I feel like it's weird to say, but this entire movie is like spoilers.
I mean, yeah.
So it's
you're not
like,
wrong. I'll give it like a quick countdown. So we're going to be moving into the spoiler section. So if you guys would like to leave, I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we can begin. Geek, go ahead.
Okay, I was joking. I was gonna. Don't worry. I got you. But Gail got it.
I gotta make sure I'm looking out for the people.
I was. Yeah, don't worry, y'all. I was gonna just drop some bombs on you.
No, I know.
But no, thanks, Gail. But no, yeah. My favorite, like my only complaint with the movie was like some of the CG was a little bit wonky, and I think Zenitsu didn't have much to do in the movie.
I was gonna come on to that, bro. Zenitsu got screwed over in this movie, bro. Everybody else had their shining light. Inosuke was surprisingly prevalent. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like even when I read the manga for the first time, I was surprised as to how much he was featured, right? And seeing it again in the movie as well was like a surprise to me. And I was just there like, Zenitsu, my guy, when are you gonna get your shine? Obviously, he will. Inevitably, as a manga reader, I can confirm he might down the line, maybe, but no, he does get some shining lights in the future. But it's just a surprise to see him lacking so much in this movie, right? Because he didn't do much outside of like his thunder breathing first form, the thunderclap and flash, right?
Yeah,
That's
like
literally all he did.
yeah.
He helped Nezuko for a split second, and then was like, "Alright, I'm back to sleep." Even Nezuko was unimpressed after that. She was like, this guy, bro. But yeah, no, I can agree with you on that one. Zenitsu was lacking in this side, in my opinion. Anything else you want to point out?
No, yeah. I mean, like, and obviously, like, that's a manga thing, right? Like, they can't, like, whatever. But I will say, to give him his credit, like, obviously, UFO table, the way they did his lightning breath, as per usual, is some of my favorite stuff. Was phenomenal. Yep. Looked amazing. Was a really cool moment. But that's it. Zenitsu only had like a really cool moment and some funny we like, he's a comedic relief in a way. But he really didn't have much to do. He just kind of just stuck by Nezuko. And
I agree.
That's about it for like my complaints. Any complaints from you guys aside from that?
Go ahead if you have any.
To be completely honest, besides the Zenitsu, because I'm gonna be 100% with you guys. Out of every single character, I know I'm probably gonna get flack for this, but Zenitsu, I feel like he's my guy. He is my boy. Like,
I know
he is he is literal sleeper character. But but like other than that, I mean, Inosuke, I feel like they really wanted to they really want to hammer on the Inosuke because of the fact of like, when we last left off, like on the first season, Inosuke was like, "Oh, train, what the heck is this?" He hates it, and like him fighting on the train, like I feel like they really want to show like how he's like starting to slowly change as a person, because like we also have to remember that Inosuke himself, he was left in the woods as a baby. He was raised by literal like I think it was like boars, right? Or like pigs. Something along those lines. Like he was basically raised by animals. And him like going like stepping on modern technology, not knowing what it is for like hit the majority of his life, while everyone's like, "Oh, it's a train, like don't fight the train." But like again, like I feel like he himself as a character, they really want to hammer on that, like, he has to, like, he's obviously going to be changing, and, they want to just show his slow change into, like, starting to become, like, all familiar with everything that's going around instead of just, like, knowing, like, what was in the woods. Besides that, I don't necessarily see any complaints on my end, other than the whole entire, like, what you guys were saying about the Zenitsu, just, like, getting, like, the shaft of, like, not, like, doing much. But other than that, I fairly enjoyed like everything that was going on, and the kids like recreating like when the kids his name was Emu, if I'm correct, right? Enmu, there you go. Like Enmu, who was like the very first part of the movie where he just like take these kids and just like them like, especially that one kid who was with Tanjiro, who was tied up to Tanjiro, and then like him like saying that Tanjiro himself is just a person that will give his life to help those in need, and he realizes, and just going off of them, like how they slowly changed. It's just really like a very moving movie, and again, no complaints. And besides CGI, that's all I can say like on like what I kind of disliked about the movie.
Yeah, I mean, can't disagree with you guys. I mean, Zenitsu is a problem in my opinion. Apart from that, the CGI just a little niggling issues here and there, but again, nothing to like, you know, slam down scores by. I mean, I as a viewer, like as somebody who's read the manga as well as just as a general like anime watcher, I can see why it's earned the money it has, to be honest. Like, it's well made. I know people may have complaints about maybe how simple it is compared to this day and age, but it nails everything on the head in terms of what you would want from a movie, like action, emotion, good characters, right? Great soundtrack, animation's fantastic. So there's really not much you can necessarily complain about, right? Let's move into some of the positives that we had. I want to talk a bit about the Let's talk about our favorite moments, shall we? I think Iz and I have very similar favorite moments in terms of the same area, basically. And that's Tanjiro's dream sequence and him continuously killing himself to get out of the dream sequence, right?
Yeah,
I personally preferred the dream sequence part itself. Like, I genuinely started tearing up a bit there when he was trying to run away from his family during the dream sequence. I think that was well done, well brought to life, I suppose is the best way to put it. The voice actors did a fantastic job of the family itself. You know, Tanjiro's youngest brother, I think his name is Kentaro or something like that. I keep forgetting the youngest brother's name. And then Tanjiro trying to run away as well. I think that was just a well done scene. What about you, Iz? What did you think of the whole scene, and why is it your favorite moment of like him just continuously killing himself to get out of the scene?
Yeah, so what Gail was saying, yeah, again, Tanjiro's dream sequence, it did hit, but like for me, Enmu, when he's going against him, when he first confronted Enmu and Enmu was putting him to sleep, and then Tanjiro kept on coming back up and back up and get back up, and no matter how many times he got hit by sleep, Enmu just then realized the reason why he's not falling to sleep is because Tanjiro just keeps on killing himself over and over and over. To be completely honest, to kill yourself over and over constantly, it can really mess with one's psyche. You know, it like, if you're to like say, if in real life, if you're to do it, like if you're to constantly go to sleep, I'd say at least a good 5 or 6 times of you going to sleep, killing yourself constantly will definitely, you know, make you cry, will definitely make you think, it's just like, wait a second, am I really asleep or am I really alive? I don't know. And then, like, you know, obviously, like, you start to get paranoid. But for Tanjiro, he has that steel mindset, that courage, and Enmu will just realize, like, oh no, it's not working on him. This man is just constantly doing it. The fact that he keeps on doing it, it just shows how much of a steel heart he has, how much courage he has. And he really just like the constant, like, especially when like he was like, you know, some parts where Tanjiro was about to fall off the train and him immediately getting back up, and it's like, all right, let me continue, like, sword out, sword ready, let's go. And him just like not even for a second, you know, doubting anything. It's just, it really hit me, because, like, you know, it really showed like that Tanjiro as a character from episode 1 to this movie, it showed you how much he's changed. Because before, when he fought demons, he was very, you know, scared. He didn't want to necessarily kill them. He didn't want to necessarily hurt. But going on this fight, he, like, you know, you see that change where he's just like, I gotta do this. Like, no matter what, I have to save these people. I have to end this demon before he can go and kill more and cause more damage. That's what I felt that is by far my favorite thing, my favorite scene of the whole entire movie.
Yeah, I can agree with you on the whole psyche thing as well. Also, I'll just correct myself. I double checked, it was Rokuta, not Kentaro. I don't know why I got those two confused, but maybe I was thinking of something else. But Rokuta was the youngest brother's name. But speaking of the psyche part, right? Especially when you look into the later half when they were going up against the big CGI version of Enmu, right? He was trying to close his eyes, and at a point he almost killed himself in reality as well. And Inosuke was like, "You're confusing reality with your dream sequence now. Like, stop doing that," kind of thing, right? I think that was extremely well handled. Geek, what was your favorite moment overall?
All right, let's cut the BS. We know the highlight of the film, Rengoku. Rengoku versus Akaza is probably my favorite fight in the entire series. No, I'm joking. I mean, it is, but obviously the stuff that you guys mentioned is great as well. I was gonna mention like Tanjiro is like the type of person that would like literally just say, like a person kills him, he will apologize for having to put that burden on that person. Like Tanjiro's like
yeah,
such
that is
a
very true.
like peaceful soul.
Yeah,
Gotta love him. But no, yeah, I agree with you guys. That moment was like intense. Like the fact that he kept like severing his own like neck every time, dude. He got like put to sleep like at least 15 times. That's intense.
Easily.
Like
yeah,
like he literally got blasted. He was like, oh, and then he was like, oh, I'm awake again. Like dude, like. Which I did like because they played up on the fact that you mentioned how you don't know what reality is, because in the middle of the fight that Inosuke stopped him, he was gonna sever his neck, but he didn't enter sleep. There was no eyes around him.
Yeah.
So he was about to kill himself, but like for real. But then Inosuke stopped him. So I really like that they used that that Enmu used that as a plan. But anyway, yeah, the Akaza versus dude. I cried tears in that moment, dude. I legit was in the theater with my mask on. Did you just see tears coming down? That fight was so beautifully choreographed. The fire techniques, like the voice acting, even the English side was really, really good. Akaza was great. And then we could finally talk about, I know what Gail was talking about, the theme song for Akaza.
Yeah, it's such a man. It's such a banger.
Dude.
Such a banger.
And I just love his fighting style. Like, I love that he's like a martial artist fighting swords with his fist, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think they also did a really great job of the clashing of ideals. Akaza is just like, I'm being selfish. I just want to improve myself. I don't care if I'm a demon, but I want to become I just want to, exceed everybody's expectations, and I'm a demon because I want to be, kind of thing, right? And that he was just he kept on telling Rengoku that, like, oh, become a demon alongside me. You'd surpass your expectations. You'll never lose your peak. You'll never lose your like top performance. And Rengoku was like, no. He's just not
agree.
happening. I think that was well done. I like you said, especially the flame tiger at the end.
Yeah.
That was so well animated. That clash was amazing.
He had the flame tiger, then the flame dragon at the end with his final like move. Oh, dude.
Yep. It was so well done. And you could tell like it was the choreography, like you said, was phenomenal as well. Like they did such a good job. Like Akaza's movements were great in that entire fight. Is any thoughts on the fight itself as well?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. It makes me want to just like go to the gym and start, hitting them weights, because that theme, it really pumps you up. It's that theme itself. It's like it's basically like what you would put in a gym playlist.
Yep.
When you go to the gym, you put on your headphones and you're just like, man, what should I listen to? Akaza's theme. Next thing you know, you're bench pressing 150 when you're only 90 pounds. You're just like, you getting the work in. It's just so good. And just like Rengoku himself, him fighting all the way to the end, not stopping, not giving one lick of a breather. It just shows how much of a man this guy is,
dude.
Like Rengoku.
Bro, my guy.
Him.
Dude,
the best part was like, the best part was like, I'm not letting go. I'm not letting you go, bro. You're going down with me, bro. And it was just like, bro, he's literally got an arm inside you and you're just not letting him go, bro.
That part was so, dude. And he tried to punch him and then he caught his hand and was like, nah, dude, I'm gonna sever your head.
I'm severing your head or you're gonna die by the sun. Either or, you're not getting away from me.
Dude,
it's just, man. Dude, the fact that Rengoku is the guy. Rengoku is the guy you call when you need shit done. Like, he will make sure it is done to his last breath. He is that guy,
I cannot disagree with you on that one. I think they did a fantastic job with Rengoku's character as a whole from start to finish, He was the guy who inspired Tanjiro Inosuke and Zenitsu, even from the start as well. Like, when he did the first battle against the two demons, the original two demons, right? The minions, we'll call them the minions. I don't think they have any specific names, but the two minions basically, right? The mantis looking one and the other one, I can't remember the other one, how it looked like, but he inspired them to, attack, and then him getting out of the, choke holding the girl as well.
Oh, dude, yeah, he was chokeholding her for like 20 minutes, though.
Bro, I was like,
Yeah, I was wondering how she didn't die.
Yeah, I was like, in the manga and in the anime, I was just like, wait, how are you not dead yet, girl? You're like, come on now. And then of course
was on
him
fire,
defending
dude.
him defending the 5 carriages in the back and just moving in at the like
Bro, he moves
super
at, like,
speed, like.
Yo, he must be like dipping into the speed force or something,
Yeah,
dude. That
no,
dude like just
like,
he hops up and teleports.
People act like they don't have powers because we know that the author has come out and said effectively like the powers, quote unquote, the breathing or the fire and water and whatever animations aren't necessarily real, but that doesn't mean that these characters don't have like powers
Superhuman.
beyond.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to combat demons unless you had that power. Like they literally even said in the movie like the breathing and having control over your breathing enhances your abilities to beyond the human level, right? So again, like Rengoku showed throughout the movie, he was phenomenal as a character, as a Hashira. He showed why he was a Hashira as well. I cannot wait to see the other Hashiras in action as well, right?
Yeah,
Sanemi and whatnot as well. They'll be fantastic to watch as well. But yeah, it was well done overall. I think it was great. Let's talk about the end, I guess, then, shall we? I suppose straight away then. After effectively Akaza decided to just sacrifice his own arms and just ditch the scene effectively. What do you guys think of that whole part?
It was like smart, I think, of him, because like he would not escape his grasp. Like obviously it was like prevalent that Rengoku had him, but it makes sense. I mean, I was thinking that like initially too, I'm like, why doesn't he just sever like his arms or like break them off? Because especially he kept flaunting his like regeneration abilities. So I was thinking to myself, I love this moment, but I'm also thinking, can't you just break your arm? I know his other arm was being handled, but like I mean, he ended up breaking it off anyway. So I was thinking to myself, like, I guess that's a little that's more like a nitpick, but it doesn't really bother me. Yeah. It's like, well, he could have just done that from the get go, I guess, right? Yeah. But it was really cool. I just wonder, like, did it like rip Tanjiro's sword?
Oh yeah, no, that's
true.
one.
That is
but
true.
Do you think it might have been a bit more of a ego thing as well, or stubbornness from Akaza's end as well? Like that's what I thought even in the manga as well. Like I just think that was the case of him just being like stupidly stubborn, right? Plus I think also at a point when he saw Tanjiro and Inosuke also charging at him, he was like, yeah, no, I'm dipping out of here, bro. This ain't it for me, bro. I'm a lose here otherwise, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think is as well? What about you? What do you think?
I think they should just find that fucker and kill him right away, because he really pissed me off. I did not like that guy, and like not like as in like as a character, but like I just like it. That whole entire fight, it made me realize, it made me think like, how when like superheroes are going against the villains, you're just like, yeah, get the villain. No, I really wanted this guy to die. I was like, Rengoku, come on, man, you gotta do it. But obviously, him slipping away, obviously, like, it's not going into spoilers, like he's dipping away because like he has to come back, he wants to like come back stronger, and it'll be like a challenge for them. But it's just it made me feel like, again, it's like, I hate this guy, I want this guy to die, and I want this guy to die. And that's what you want in a movie, that's what you want in a character. You want a villain that everyone wants to just die, because it's just great storytelling at that point. Because like when you have like a really good character, like very justice character like Rengoku going against a demon of that caliber, of that stubbornness, of that arrogance, you're just like, all right, I want Rengoku to shut this guy up, please. Rengoku, do your thing. And it's just well done. Like, again, Akaza as a character, loved him. Like, I love how he makes me want to hate him. It's that love-hate relationship. And it's just, going off and then just going again into Rengoku himself. It's just Rengoku, I feel like he sets the bar for people who have not read the manga. He sets the bar of just like, dude, if Rengoku's like this, what about all the Hashiramas? What if they all like, you know, the serious and stuff like that? But to me, Rengoku is the epitome of what a Hashirama should be and what the pillars of they should strive to be. And, you know, just him himself, I just loved it. And, you know, not going to any spoilers, but, you know, with how you guys see Hashirama, how you guys see Rengoku, like, you should, you know, start to slowly think, it's like, oh, what if, like, you know, all these other Hashiramas, they're going to be as crazy as Rengoku, and that is what he makes it out to be, and I love that.
I can agree with you. It's the same thing with even Akaza's side. Like, we know, based on his upper moon, that he's probably one of the... he might be one of the middle upper moons. We'll have to see which one he is. But actually, I mean, we've read the mangas. I'm trying to keep it a bit more aloof as well. Like,
no, because going off what you're saying, going off what you said, because like at the end of season 1, he killed Mugen. Oh my god, I keep on, you know, messing up these names.
Yeah.
But he killed all the other moons and left only the mid to high tier moons.
Yeah.
So you know Akaza is in at least like
the middle spots,
the mid tier to top tier. And it just also gets you ready for those other, like, you know, blood moon demons, or just like, you know, if Akaza's like this, what about the other ones? You know, we were obviously teased those other guys, you know, in like the first season.
Yep.
But it's just, and it also makes you think Mugen.
Yeah.
How powerful is this motherfucker going to be? If Akaza is this powerful, how fucking powerful is Mugen? Yeah. And it's just going to keep you wondering. And I love that.
I agree with you. And I think the final thing we can talk about is the speech from Rengoku at the end, before he died. And yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Teared up. Job done. Thank you for making me cry, movie. Good job. You've done a fantastic job. What do you guys think as well?
Yeah. I mean,
Geek, go ahead.
I have nothing to add to that. It was a great speech, very impactful, and I also teared up a lot during the ending sequence, especially like towards the end of his speech, and like him seeing like his mother and like asking like if she was proud, and like all of that stuff they really nailed, and they really the movie ends like really somber, you know. It's like somber but hopeful for the next generation, was kind of what Rengoku was kind of alluding to. But it really does end a little somber, because there's like, he's gone now, and that's just how it ends. I think they did a fantastic job as well, like, you know, with the whole Hashira's finding out, Master Ubuyashiki as well finding out. You know, they did a fantastic job with like letting everybody know as well. And I loved the moment even the crow was crying as well. I was like, that's like, you didn't have to do that, man. You didn't have to do that. That was a bit extra, but god damn it, man. Oh, that was done so well. That was done so well, right? What about you, Iz? What do you think?
Honestly, it's just really what really put it to me. Like, obviously, you know, Rengoku dying, you know, he was one of my favorites. You know, sad to see that man leave, but really hit me was that obviously when he saw his mom, she says, you know, are you proud of me? And this and that. What really hit is obviously like he goes on, he, you know, passes his life without ever knowing if his father was ever proud of him, because, you know, we were shown in the movie Rengoku was talking to his father, like he was very happy with his father. It's like, are you happy that became, you know, the top of demon slayers and stuff like that? But like you saw how his father was just like, yeah, cool, dying, whatever, go shoot, whatever. And just like him, like not like him thinking that his dad just like doesn't care about him anymore and stuff like that. It just really hits, because Rengoku will never know if his father really cared, which we'll find out, you know, obviously more when season 2 comes around to see, you know, if, you know, Rengoku's father was really proud of him, or was he actually like, you know, my son, I don't care who, you know, like get out of here. It's just really sad, but you know, it's one of those, I feel like it's going to be one of those like moments where you're just like, or it will give Rengoku's father of, why couldn't I say something earlier before, you know, he passed? Because, you know, at the end of the day, we don't know when, like, we don't, like, they're all going on to this life, like, they're not knowing when they're gonna die, they're not gonna know how they're gonna die, they don't even know if they'll even, like, you know, live past the next day. And to have that and not be able to say something to the ones that you love or care about is just the most gut-wrenching thing ever.
Yep, 100% agree with you on that. I think that's all from me personally. I don't think I have anything else to point out. I think we've covered like the animation side of things, the soundtracks, the moments that we wanted to talk about. Overall, I mean, I think I'll give my rating just to get the ball rolling, and then we can give our final thoughts as well. I mean, as I said, it was nearly a perfect movie, you know, outside of some niggling issues, you know, well adapted. The characters did a great job. Voice acting was great. A great cinematic experience. Overall, I'd say an easy 9 out of 10 at minimum, right? I think it did the job. Like, I can't really say there are any faults apart from maybe some nitpicks here and there, and maybe like 1 or 2 issues that I had. But outside of that, 9 out of 10 performance from the film. Like, great job by the cast, studio, everybody. What a wonderful movie to experience. Geek, and if your final thoughts and rating, if you want to give any.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much along the same line. Probably like a 9.5 out of 10, right up there for me with like One Piece Stampede, like Film Z, in my opinion. Like, it's a really fast-paced movie, has some like really good structure. Music was great. The English dub voice cast was great, in my opinion. Everything, the soundtrack, the emotion, the fights, everything was all great. I would say like a 9.5 out of 10. Mainly, obviously, like from my nitpicks earlier, but like my own gripes of like Zenitsu not having much, and a little bit the CGI was a little bit wonky, but like overall, in my opinion, flawless. Like but I don't even know if adaptation, but flawless film, in my opinion.
Yeah,
your thoughts?
Like, going off on like what Geek said, you know, I also, you know, watched One Piece Stampede. That was a really good movie, and then, you know, watching this movie, it is a very flawless movie, obviously, without, like, you know, with some things, you know, here and there with the CGI, and just, you know, feels like with like certain things that are like out of place in a sense. But no, overall, same thing, 9 to 9.5 out of 10. It is a movie that you have to go see. It is a movie that, like, if you have time, and obviously we don't always have the money, but like, you know, if you can, you know, scratch up whatever you can to watch this movie and go watch this movie, go ahead and do it. Like, it's just, it's an experience you will never forget.
I can 100% agree with you on that one. Obviously, stay safe in these. It's still, you know, the pandemic is still going on, so stay safe if you're going out there. And of course, yeah, it is also rated R for some reason in the US, which is really weird to me. I don't know why they did that. I guess because of some of the gore scenes towards the end, but I feel like, you know, considering some other movies that have come out that aren't rated R and anime format, a bit of a surprise to me. But that's all from us, I think, on the 5-9 team and our thoughts on the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie. Let us know in the comment section down below, what did you guys think of the movie itself? Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more anime related content, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Before we go, I want to say something.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is excluding the movie. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not talking about reviews or anything. But I just want to point this out. I just want to say this out there. Listen, guys. You know, I'm new. I want to say this right now. This is my first video. You know, being on 5-9, and it is going to be an experience for me. And I'm, you know, glad I'm going to be sharing with all these amazing people. And I just want you to know. I just want you guys to know, if you have an opportunity to do something, take it. All right. You know, in these trying times, obviously, you know, everything's hard. You know, you feel like, you know, you're being put in the corner. Do not feel like that. If you ever feel like you're in a corner, just take some time, relax, get up there. Because at the end of the day, we can do the things that we want, and we can do the things that we believe in. And I feel like, you know, being here, you know, with all these amazing people doing this, I feel amazed. I feel hyped, you know, because like I feel like I'm going to be here for just quite a bit of time, and I want to, you know, extend my hand out there and say, like, you know, guys, join the 5-9 gaming community. You know, we are welcoming, and, you know, just join the public Discord, and you'll definitely find friends. And, you know, just again, if you have an opportunity to do something, take it. And and then you'll start to slowly realize, you know what, life, you only live life once. As like, again, going back to the movie, like Red Goku, you want to live life without regrets, and that's how you should live life. So at the end of the day, guys, go out, have fun, live your life, because that's how it should be.
There you go. There's the man. The newbie has said his words. And with that, I think we will wrap it up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.